Hello everyone, I'm Dave, and today we are going to start a new series on AWS. We will be mainly focusing on certification, so I want to do more practical and then give the exam. So without further ado, let's go into it. I'm not going into the details. I'm sure you all know how to create an account. I already have my account created. So I'm just logging in, adding my username password. I'm logging as a root user, as you can see, and I'm adding my password and just log in. Okay, so we'll clear this captcha. Great. So we are in the console home. This is the new layout. AWS keeps on changing the layout, and if you have observed, now we can see a lot of widgets. Plus, you can also add a new widgets if you wish to, but these are the basic default widgets come with. And this particular screen, you can either call dashboard or they call it console home. So we can call the same. So this gives a small widgets for all the different applications or services which you are running in the application, and you can have a bird's eye view of details, what all things going on, and if you want to add your custom things, you can add that widget as well. Right? Now let's understand or let's see the basic of this console first, and then we'll move on to the next service. So, as you all know, AWS is the leader in providing different services. Earlier, there were very less, but now there are a lot of services which are available in AWS. So, in order to go to different services, you can either use the shortcut, which is Option S. If I click Option S, it will take my search here, and if I search for EC2, I'll be able to search the services, the features, resources, marketplace, whatever related to those things if I want to do. Second option to search or to see all the services while clicking on this icon. Here, depending on alphabetical order, they have given all the different services which are available. So if you are searching for IAM, you can just click on IAM and you'll be taken away to the IAM page. Right? Now, if you want to go back to your main page or console, we'll click on this icon or the logo AWS and we'll be taken back to that. This is something new which has been introduced. Earlier, this was not there. We had two options. One was this icon and another was the search box. But now we have another icon as well, which again has all the services. When you click on this, and again, whatever services you want to go into, you can take a look and click on that. So again, that will take to the service page of that service. Right, so this is the new thing. I'll again click on this to go to console. We are on console back. So this is what we have on the left hand side of the screen, our logo and the two ways to go or choose our services. Let's move on to the right hand side of the screen. Now this is something new which has been added into AWS. This is AWS Gen AI, which will help you to search or basically a chat where if you're stuck with something, you can just ask this and it will try to get the answers and give you the resources as well. This is very good while you're learning or if you want to search anything on the same screen, you can do, you don't have to go to different screen. This is the help panel. Whenever you want any information, what page you are at, what details you need, you can click on this help panel and it will give you more information on that. Plus, if you want to dive deep, there will be external links or you can see what all details you want to go ahead. I just close this again. On the extreme right top hand, I see the name. So AWS MaaheDev AWS is the account name. This is my account ID. As you can see, this is the root account. Even while logging, we have seen this is my root account. So we see account ID here. These are different services again, which are important. As a root user, you have access to all those things. So you can have a look at that. Next is the regions. As you all know, AWS have different regions. The default one is Virginia, US East one. But if you want to move to any nearby services, you can click on that. Let's say if I'm in India, I can click Mumbai. Mumbai is the nearest location if I want to host or publish any application. You can also manage regions here. So it says that all the regions are not enabled by default. So if you click on manage regions, you will see that if you wish to add some regions or if you want to remove some regions just for uh, simplicity, or if you want to have if you're sure that you want to use only one or two regions, you can do that as well. So this is where you can do this. All the regions are not enabled by default and few are enabled. If you want to know more about the region, you can go to Google and search AWS regions. This will give the global infrastructure of AWS, meaning what are the different regions or availability zones available nearest to you. This will also tell you what are the new or upcoming regions as well. So if you click on, let's say, North America, we can see this Mexico is coming soon. If you want more information on these availability zones, like when they were introduced, the launch zones, the number of local zones, all you can scroll down and find the information here. They also have uh, the government cloud and all. So this gives a basic information. It's good to know, although it is not crucial for the examination, but it's always good to know because regions are a very important factor in AWS services. So if I check in Asia Pacific, so for in India we have Mumbai, which is already there, and next is in Hyderabad, which was launched in 2022, and we can see more details in this area where what all availability zones are available. Right? Okay, let's get back. A few of the services we also have as a global. For example, IAM or billing, they will be in the global regions, but rest wherever the regions are applicable, you will be able to see that and have to choose that in order to see your application. Correct. Let's move on to the next one. This is your own personal setting. For example, if you want to change default setting when you're logging, how you want your icons to be, what is the default region you wish to have selected, all those things can be done here. If you want to change, you can click on this and you can change as well. Whatever change you do, that will be updated here. Right. So this is the user settings. Next, we have the help or support button. Here, if you need any support or if you are the paid support member, then you can click on this and you will get the support required or documentation and training all available here. Next is for the notification. Whatever notification are triggered or if you have generated a custom notification, all those is notification are located here. The final icon here is for the AWS Cloud Shell. So along with this web, how we are accessing the AWS Cloud Shell is also one place, one way where you can access all the services which are there in your service bucket, or you can also generate a new AWS service. Plus, this AWS, as we are installing in local as well, there is a AWS CLI tool with which we can use that. So same command works here as well if you use AWS. uh, this is the same command which you can use in your local as well. So if you prefer to use CLI instead of the web page, then AWS, this is the place Cloud Shell to be. You don't have to log in. You are already logged in. You can use that. Apart from that, you can install the AWS CLI, which we will see further in our system, and then you can utilize that as well. Okay. So this is a quick overview. I know I haven't given much details into that, thinking that you already know. I'm not spending much time on the basics, but I want to try different services in AWS and try to help you to learn and also me to experiment and learn the details of that. Right? Okay. So now the very first thing what we need to go into is IAM. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. IAM. Currently, we are logged in as root user, and whenever we log in as a root user, you should be first is you should add the MFA. MFA stands for multi-factor authentication, which means apart from your password, there will be an extra layer of information which will be required in order for you to log in. Of course, that adds a kind of a security layer on top of this, which is very much required for the root account because root account has all the permissions to delete, break, or even uh, add the services and remove that. Okay. So before going into IAM, let's create an alias. So here, if you see, we have this sign in URL coming in, and the best practice for the AWS is always that we should not use the AWS root login, but we should create a login and then we should be using that. So for that, let's create a alias. I haven't created an alias earlier, so let me create an alias now. I'll prefer to give it as maahedev.signin.global. And if this username is available or this URL is available, then only I'll be getting. If it is already taken up, then we may not be able to get. Okay, so this is available. So now I have set up the account alias. This is done. Now, before adding to MFA, let's go to the account settings. So account settings is the place where we see the password policy. If I click on this, so here are the different password policies which are by default given by AWS, which is we should have a minimum of uppercase, a lowercase, a number, and non-alphanumeric. You can of course click on customize and do these changes. The more harder and the more variation of email password we have, the more the better, as you all know. So we should always follow that because AWS has lots of services, and if it is misplaced or if any other person takes control of that, then you may have to pay high charges for that. Okay, so you can set up your password policy in this. Now I'll again go to the IAM dashboard and we will set up the MFA now. Okay, so let's go click on MFA. So MFA stands for multi-factor authentication, and there are three ways which you can add an MFA. One is your passkey or security. For example, if you're on system, so face or string log, these are the things which can be used to add an extra level of security. Second is the Authenticator app. Generally, the two well-known things which I am aware of are Microsoft Authenticator and Google's Authenticator. So any one of this, if you're available or if you have used that, you can use that. So this is the most convenient way to use the Authenticator app so that you can have a 6 digits code all the time whenever you are having your authentication set. And this one is the hardware TOTP token. So these are some different specific hardwares which are available in market for high security login. In that you have the same fundamental, but you have to get that hardware token. Either they mostly are USB based or they are just a token. You have, if they're USB, you have to tuck in your laptop or system, and then they will be taking the code, or there is a unique code on the key on that token, and then you need to add. So I am familiar with, or I have the Authenticator app. So what I'll be doing is I'll click on Authenticator. Device name, I'll add my phone auth, right? So we'll set up the MFA for my root account first. I grab my mobile and open the Authenticator app to do the needful. I'll be hiding all this information, so don't copy this. Okay, once we add the code, just to validate that, we need to add two codes so that it is, so it just to confirm that we have added the right code. And if you guys are not comfortable with this, and you can skip it for some days, but at the end you have to add. So make sure that you are comfortable with using the Authenticator app. Else your account, you may be logged out of your account as well. So make sure that you are familiar with that and that then you add. So I have added both the code which is shown in my account and just to validate. Okay. So that thing worked. I have set up my MFA and now I have my root user account setup done. Before going further, let's go in dashboard and see if we have any other things. So this is already added. If I refresh, so my root account has MFA and there's no access keys. Access keys we'll see later. What are those things? And then we'll discuss on that. Right. So all the required things for my root access is done. Whenever you are logging into your account first time, make sure that your account also looks like this. And the shawl should be showing green so that your root account is secured and then we are ready to move into the next section. Right. Okay, so now further talking about IAM. As you know, IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. This is basically to give access or permissions to your roles, services, or any users or group of users. So if we go to users, I already have one user created, which I have been using, but we will create a new user now. Let's say I'll call it Dave. This is the new option. If you want to use federated users or AD, if you have AD users, then you can use this. Go to Identity Center. But we'll keep it simple as of now. I just want to create a new IAM user. Just I'll add my password. Okay, as we have discussed earlier, these are the rules which will be applied to the password. So it should be combination of all those things. And this, okay, so I've created a new user. The next group, uh, I've created a group called developer, and let's assign it. If you want to create a new group, you can click over here and create it. Now we created one. So we'll just go to next. We have custom password and no. So this user is created. Now if I want to log in into this user, let's do that. I'll open incognito mode, right? I'll copy this. So this will be the new sign in URL as we have added earlier. In case if you don't remember what this is, you can just do AWS login, click on login, we'll go on sign in, and here, oh, it took automatically, but yeah, you can add again MaaheDev and it will give you username is there. I hope I remember the password I just used and sign in. Awesome, the password is right. Okay, so now this is the new user which I have created, and one thing which you will observe is here. So now my IAM user is Dave, whereas here, if you have seen, it was only account ID as seen earlier. So this is the difference, or this way we can see that if you are logged in as a root user or as a normal user, right? Okay. IAM. One more thing is, let's say if you're, for example, I'll show you in this one. Let's say we are using IAM again and again. What we can do is while clicking on search, you can click as favorite. The star, if you mark it as favorite, it will be then visible on the top of your screen, and you'll be able to, you don't have to go again and again in search, and that will be handy for you to find it like this. We'll get it here. So this is called favorite. So whatever tabs you add, all these tabs will be added here. And if you remember when we went into this setting here, uh, in this setting you can change if you want only icon or name and all those things, right? Okay. So as they suggest here also we need to add the MFA. I'll not go in this place as of now. Let's go to roles. So this is our user, which I've just created. We go to there. We have just logged in. There is no MFA, and administrator access is what we have added as of now. Next is the policies. Now policies are the JSON document which basically gives permission to the user. Now just to see the different components of the policy. So this is a very basic statement. It will have a few more things which I'll share in a bit. Okay, I think let's directly go there instead of going here. Anyways, okay, let me make it full. So this is one user which we have created, and now if you want to log in, we can go to user and log in. I'll come back to this user. We'll go to full screen, return to user list, continue. Right. So this is the new user which I have created, right? And we were discussing about policies. Okay. So let's go to AWS policy examples just to show you what are the things we see in policy, right? So yeah. So policy consists of the JSON document. This is the basic style of writing policies. First, we have the version. Here we always see the state 2012, 10, 17. Although this is optional. Then we have a statement. This is a required field where you need to add all the statements which you want to add. So in that, the structure goes as first is this effect, which means allow or deny. This means that whatever service or whatever actions we have written, is it an allow permission or deny permission? Action is to define the service name on what service, on what action. For example, IAM, it will be get user, see user, like basic CRUD operations and many more. There are a lot of things what you can, which you can go here and let's say IAM, if I go to IAM full access and if you click, just to give an idea, so here we have describe account, list children, parents, policies, all those things. So all those things can become in action. Resource is the name of the resource. For example, in this case, we are discussing about IAM. So this will be the IAM user or IAM account, what we want to do. And we have a condition. In this example, there is one thing missing, which is principal. So principal is also there, which will say which account is allowed. For example, I have created a dev account right now, so that dev account will be able to do this allow or deny whatever we are deciding in the permissions, in the actions and effects resources. So this is the basic example of a policy. Um, just to see different examples, if we see here we have action. So this was the action I was talking about, get user or change password. So this is related to IAM. And when we say resource, so this is the resource name. For example, this particular user will be only able to. So these are the statements, and this is important for the exam because they do give the sample statement like this, and then they will ask us that if this is a right or wrong. So you need to be very true, like if what is the effect given, and based on that, what is the resource. So is it an allow or deny, and based on that, what action that particular user is able to do, right? Okay. So I think it's getting longer. Let's keep it till this. We have seen users, user groups, and policies. I think this is a good go. Uh, I'll see you in the next one.